Don't struggle anymore with frothing milk. On your Breville Barista Express, frothing milk is causing a mess or leaving the milk flat. I'll show you an easy way for beginners to froth milk for cappuccino, latte, and a flat white. Frothing your first pitcher of milk on the Breville Barista Express can be a bit daunting, but I'm going to show you an easy way that anybody can froth milk good enough for cappuccinos or even lattes. Might even be able to get some latte art. Let's see if we can make it happen. Things that you'll need to froth your first pitcher of milk. You'll need your frothing pitcher that came with the machine. You'll need some milk. For those of you who are in Canada, you'll recognize this as a bag of milk. You'll need water in the tank, a clean steam wand, and a slightly dampened rag to clean the wand afterwards. How much milk will you need? Well, that's a good question. We're going to use the jug itself to decide how much milk we're going to use, and this will be important, especially if you change up your jugs. This pitcher came with the Breville. I've measured it. It's about 240 ml to the bottom of that spout. So you can see the spout here. It ends right about halfway down the jug. And if you look on the inside, there's an ending point to that spout. If you fill to the bottom of that spout line, that's about 240 milliliters or about 1 cup of milk. When frothing milk, you can imagine that the temperature of the liquid will start to increase. You will know when to stop frothing when you can no longer hold the back of your hand to the edge or to the wall of the pitcher. Activating the steam wand for the frothing of the milk is a little bit tricky. When you first activate it, the machine switches over from espresso mode to frothing mode, which means the temperature needs to go up. It's not ready right away. So usually what I recommend is activate the steam side, let it get up to full pressure, turn it off quickly, place your pitcher in the correct position, which we'll go over, and then turn on the steam again. The machine's slow enough that it'll give you that time to turn off, position the pitcher, and then turn on again. You'll see some water coming out of the steam wand when you first activate the steam function. That water you should allow to purge out before placing your pitcher, otherwise that water will end up in your milk. So basically what that process looks like is you turn on the steam function, let it get to power, turn it off, quickly place your pitcher in place, turn it back on again. I've created a beginner's home guide to the Breville Barista Express. Get your access in the pinned comment below or in the description of this video. So the frothing technique now. So the first thing I'll tell you is that there'll be none of this moving around the pitcher, circulating around the wand. That's not going to happen on the easy mode. There's different techniques for frothing. Some people do it manually, in which they hold the jug in their hand and they have the frothing wand out to the side. I'm going to suggest, if you're a beginner, to use what's called ghost frothing. In this technique, you don't really need to touch the pitcher very much. You position the wand in the correct place, you position the pitcher in the correct place, and you let the machine do its job. This technique, as I mentioned, will give you milk that's good enough for a flat white, a latte, and a cappuccino. So for ghost frothing, you'll fill milk to the bottom of that spout line. For the ghost frothing technique, the wand will need to be in a particular position and the jug will need to be in a particular position. The frothing wand will be pulled out away from the machine or towards you. The pitcher will go in and you'll use the top of the pitcher spout as your pivot point. You'll anchor it there, and the end point for the frothing wand will be roughly around 9 o'clock. If you can imagine a clock on the face of the pitcher, if the end of the wand is at 9 o'clock, that will give the steam the correct angle to spin the milk and incorporate the air that's being introduced. The tip of the wand, the nozzle, needs to be just underneath the milk. If it's too high up, the bubbles will be too big and it might make a mess. If the nozzle is too far down into the milk, it won't be incorporating any air, and so you won't get any froth. The correct noise you're listening for is the sound of paper tearing or the sound of sucking teeth. You should not hear any squealing or screeching. That usually means the nozzle tip is in the wrong position. Once you have the frothing wand and the jug in the right place, you leave the jug or pitcher on the drip tray and let the machine do its thing. You will hear that sound, that tearing paper sound, that sucking sound, probably for about 5 or 6 seconds. And then the milk will expand on its own and the tip or the nozzle will be submerged under milk. And the rest of the time will be spent incorporating that air. If you leave it just for those 5 or 6 seconds, you'll probably get a good enough milk for a flat white. If you then reposition the wand just a little so that you hear that sound again, that paper tearing sound, that sucking sound, it'll go for another 5 or 6 seconds. That milk might be good enough for latte. If you're trying to go for a cappuccino, you would then shift this a third or even a fourth time, incorporating more and more air. All the meanwhile checking with the back of your hand the temperature of the jug. When it's too hot to touch, it's ready to turn off the machine. I've created a beginner's home guide to the Breville Barista Express. Get your access in the pinned comment below or in the description of this video. Let's give this a go. So we're going to fill to the bottom of that spout line, activate the wand, but we're not putting our pitcher in yet. We're going to let this get to full steam. Turn it off. That's basically the sound you're looking for. That would be good for a flat white. Reposition for a latte. And if you want to keep going for a cappuccino, position again. Still cool. And if you really want a lot of foam, a fourth time. No squealing, no screeching. And then purge to get any milk out of the wand. And there you have froth milk. This one's probably perfect for a cappuccino. Now that you're making espresso and frothing milk on your machine, check out this video on how to keep it clean and maintained. Now, if you're interested in seeing how this machine works in barista mode, check out the next video.